Therapist thinks she's fine, and their relationship starts to get a little spicy. And soon enough, they get romantic, and then they start smashing. And yeah, this is a bad idea for all kinds of reasons. But despite that, this goes on for a while. And yes, Vanessa is still married. And so eventually she has to finally come clean to her husband and tell him that not only are she and therapist smashing, but that she has fallen in love with her and that she's gonna leave her husband for her. And that's what she does. She divorces her husband and moves in with therapist. And for what it's worth, she seems really happy there. She seems to believe that therapist is her soulmate and she devotes her life to loving and supporting her. And 16 years go by, and it's now 2018, and they're still together. And at this point, they've decided to get married. And so they start planning their wedding, and around the time they're planning their wedding, suddenly, therapist gets a new friend. And she starts hanging out with this new friend, and by some strange coincidence, this new friend also happens to be a former client of hers. And of course, Vanessa is immediately jealous, but she's supportive, she's a good person, and as far as she knows, nothing inappropriate is going on. And so she and therapist, they get married. Here's actually a photo of them getting married if you want to see. However, not long after they're married, therapist starts staying out late with her new friend, drinking and whatnot. Not only that, when she's not out, therapist is up in the middle of the night, like drinking and cooking and listening to loud music for some reason. So Vanessa can really start to feel this distance growing between them. And eventually, it gets to her, and she starts feeling depressed. Like, really depressed. And around this time, therapist starts posting things on Facebook, like things about her past, like how she used to be a model and stuff. And that is when this woman notices. Her name's Imogen, and Imogen is Vanessa's daughter. Now, specifically, Imogen notices this Facebook post of therapist back when she used to be a model. So Imogen's looking at this photo, and she's like, yeah, that's kind of weird. And she sends it to a friend, and that friend looks at it, and she's like, that's definitely not therapist. That's a different model. So Imogen puts this picture into a reverse image search, and it turns out that this modeling photo therapist claims is an old picture of her is actually an old picture of famous supermodel Elle Macpherson. So Imogen is like, is this woman really lying about being a model back in the day? I wonder what else she's lying about. So she starts screenshotting all these therapist posts and saving them. Meanwhile, around this time, Vanessa finally starts to acknowledge that her marriage is ending, and her mental health keeps deteriorating little by little. And eventually, the depression becomes too much